concept is simple. We take our veterans of war from World War II, from the Korean War, from the Vietnam War, and present them with a free trip to Washington, D.C.
Let us honor them, for they have given much.
Men and women who sacrificed, who bled, who persevered, whose valor, resilience, and love for this great nation inspire us all. Men and women who were tormented for their sacrifice when they came home. The very men and women who gave us the freedom we enjoy today.
I waited 50 years, just to be thanked.
At last, our veterans can feel love, appreciation, thanked, and honored as they heal and finally feel pride after so many years of shame. The camaraderie with their fellow veterans who experienced the same things, who speak their language, cannot be topped. And finally being able to share stories about their younger selves help bring their lives together with meaning. Many veterans call it the best weekend of their lives. Does it change a veteran for the better? Let the imagery of an honor flight show you. We love our veterans.
Because we are.
Welcome to South Willamette Valley Honor Flight. Thank you for your interest and your willingness to serve by joining us on this trip as a Guardian. In the next few minutes, we're going to walk you through all the duties and responsibilities as a Guardian so you know what the job entails and what kinds of situations to expect. Please know that this training is required by the National Honor Flight Network, and you'll be required to certify that you have watched this video and participated in any required on-site training sessions that are necessary during the flight. First, we want to express a deep thank you to all of those who are volunteering as Guardians. Thank you for your valuable time to honor our veterans on this flight. What we do as an organization would be impossible without each one of you, your time, resources, and your heart. Our mission is to honor those that have served our great country by taking them on an all-expense-paid trip of a lifetime to see their memorials in Washington, D.C., and to feel loved and thanked for their service to our country. For many veterans, this may be the first time they've been able to talk openly about their experiences and feel loved and appreciated for what they sacrificed. Your role as their Guardian is key to our mission being successful. Just remember, this is most likely the last or only time your veteran will be able to see Washington, D.C., so it's your job to make sure they have a memorable experience. First, let's define your role as a guardian. While an honor flight is a free trip for a veteran, guardians must pay their own way. We do not want the veterans to have to pay for their trip because they've already paid enough. But what the veteran does need is a guardian. Sometimes those guardians are family members or personal friends that desire to have that experience with their loved one. Sometimes a guardian is a local volunteer who has just recently met his or her veteran. Either way, guardians are here to help. At South Willamette Valley Honor Flight, every veteran will have their own guardian. If you're watching this video as part of the guardian application process and you're in the community volunteer category, you will receive an email or a phone call from our Honor Flight Hub about 3 weeks before the flight begins with your veteran's name and contact information. It is your job to contact your veteran, meet them, talk with them about the trip, and arrange any necessary details as soon as you possibly can so that your veteran knows what's going on. That email will come with all the details, so be watching for that closer to the flight departure date. Typical duties of a guardian can vary. Sometimes veterans are healthy, strong, and extremely capable, but they still need a guardian. Sometimes veterans will require a lot of TLC or medical attention to help them with their trip. This means you could be walking and talking and hearing lots of stories. This also means you could be physically assisting veterans through airports, on and off buses, at the hotels, and at memorial stops. You could be pushing an overweight individual in a wheelchair up to 6 miles over the course of 3 days. Yes, that's a worst case scenario, but we have occasionally had that come up. You will also need to be able to lift and carry luggage up to 50 pounds for both you and your veteran, collapse, lift and stow wheelchairs 10 times a day. You may need to assist your veteran as they get in and out of bed. As you can tell, duties of guardians vary depending on who you're placed with. But regardless, you'll need to maintain a positive attitude and a heart of service throughout the trip. If we haven't scared you off yet, let's continue to some flight specifics. While on the honor flight as a guardian, you'll be required to wear your issued honor flight shirts and name tags throughout the entirety of the trip. This helps us quickly identify who's in our group and assures no one gets accidentally left behind. One of the best resources to you as a guardian will be the leadership team that consists of flight leaders, team leaders, medics, media, and other personnel. Each of these roles will be easily identified by their color-coded hat, which they are required to wear throughout the flight. At the beginning of our flight, you'll be introduced to your team leader. Teams are organized by color, so there'll be a green team, a blue team, a brown team, etc. Team leads wear a hat with their team colors. Flight leaders wear a white hat. If you have any questions, problems, or concern, please bring those up to your team lead. If the team lead can't solve your problem, he or she will escalate your concern up to the 3 flight lead positions. Both your team leaders and your flight leaders will be with you throughout the trip, so there's always time to address any concerns. One more flight requirement is understanding the role of money. Many generous individuals may try to donate or reward a veteran by handing them money. As a guardian, you may not accept any donations from any member of the public, and you must make sure that your veteran does not accept any donations as well. One of the most important things you will need to succeed as a guardian is a positive attitude and that heart of service towards our veterans. As a guardian, we expect you to actively demonstrate a positive attitude with a heart of gratitude to each member on this trip. It's vital that each time a veteran looks to you, they see your smile. Remember to treat each veteran and volunteer with professionalism, respect, and compassion. Focus on the veterans with selflessness. Conduct yourself with integrity and in admirable and respectful ways that represent South Willamette Valley Honor Flight and its mission with excellence. Now, there may be times when the reality of traveling across the country with a diverse group of senior veterans on a short timeline with a variety of personalities can feel overwhelming. But if you find yourself having a moment when your individual stress or patience levels may be high, remember who we are serving and work to control those emotions so that our veterans' experience on the trip can shine. Please allow your veteran to decide where to go and what to see during each stop of the trip, and within the required perimeters of each location. This trip is not for you to see whatever you want. Before each memorial, talk to your veteran, tell them about the options and the things that they can see during each stop, and let them choose the things that they want to see. Be extra mindful of the experience that they're having and be in constant communication. Do they want a little more time at the Vietnam Memorial Wall? Let them have it. Are they feeling overwhelmed and need to take a break? Always be present and mindful of their experience. Also, look for ways unique to your veteran to make their experience special. I personally always work to find out what kind of pop or cold drink my veteran loved at home, and I figured out how to get those and surprise them with them throughout the trip. An ice-cold favorite drink from home made me a hero. Just look for little ways unique to them to make it special. It's not just about the sights and the camaraderie. You are part of the experience. So minimize time on your phone to be there, to listen to them, and to serve. We all know we have different religious and political views that we hold dear. But this weekend is not the time to bring those things up. There should be no political or religious dialogue on the trip. A simple single-sided comment can ruin a veteran's trip and cause internal turmoil. We realize this can be hard to do as we're driving by the White House. If you hear any political conversations, please help us shut them down. The one exception here will be that invitations will be offered before evening mealtimes, but know that these will be offered respectfully and without specific religious denominational dialogue. Your job as a guardian is to do just that, guard and assist your veteran. To do this, please always stay within arm's reach of your veteran. This is important through all aspects of the trip, as we never know when a problem could arise. While at museums, don't leave your veteran to look at things on their own so that you can see your own things or run to the gift shop. Always keep your veteran with you. Too many times we find veterans wandering on their own because their guardian just had to go take care of something. This is unacceptable behavior. If something comes up, cannot wait to discuss that issue with your team lead and come up with a plan to ensure your veteran is taken care of until you can return to your duties. If you simply just need to use the restroom, approach another guardian, ask if they can watch your veteran until you're done, and then come back. Please know your veteran's medication schedule and assist them in making sure they keep those medications straight and that they are taking those on time. This will be especially important on the flights that are approximately 5.5 hours long. Also, remember to encourage your veteran to stand up and move their legs when possible on those flights. If your veteran requires a wheelchair, you are responsible for that wheelchair. If a veteran needs a wheelchair, or even if just having one will be handy to them during times of fatigue, a wheelchair can be issued to you and your veteran when you check in before the trip. You must bring that chair to the bus each day and ensure it's available for your veteran's use. You are required to push your veteran if they need it. Many veterans insist that they don't need one, but then they're thankful to have it by Saturday afternoon. Work with your veteran to come up with a schedule of when to use it and not use it so they can pace themselves successfully to last through our super busy Saturday and Sunday schedule. The wheelchair is not for you to use. Too many times we see the veterans pushing the guardians who have not paced themselves correctly. Only the veterans should be using the wheelchairs. Fun tip: after getting off the plane from the long flight, veterans often want to walk. So let them stretch their legs and then use the wheelchair to help haul your luggage. At South Willamette Valley Honor Flight, we take the safety of our veterans very seriously. A common place for mishaps is in the loading and unloading of the buses at each stop. Please watch the following scenario. What kind of safety issues did you notice? Let's watch again and review. Always make sure you are paying full attention to the veteran you are serving. Don't let distractions take away your focus. Remember, with wheelchairs, there are a lot of ways for veterans to trip and fall. Stay focused and help each veteran safely board the bus. Here are a few other things to do. When it's time to approach the bus, push the wheelchair slow and steady. When stopped to unload, make sure the wheelchair is locked and secure. Work to move the foot plates out of the way so that the veteran doesn't trip. Make sure their feet are firmly on the ground before helping them stand up. Always work with a guardian partner to assist the veteran as they stand and walk to the bus. Offer any support they need to help them safely navigate onto the bus stairs. Have one guardian always monitor from behind to prevent falls. Once they are safely at the top of the stairs, make sure the veteran can get to their seat before moving on to the next. When unloading, make sure there is nothing in the veteran's hands that will prevent them from receiving assistance. Position one guardian at the top of the stairs to help them as they begin stepping down. Position another guardian at the bottom of the stairs to help them out of the bus. Additional guardians can be used outside the door to aid in the transition from the bus to the wheelchair. Always let the veteran know what you are doing and what the plan is for the transition. Help them sit in the wheelchair and get comfortable. Lower the leg plates and assist them with getting their feet secure. When ready to go, release the wheelchair for movement. Tip number 1, always work to stay hydrated. Both you and your veteran need to drink plenty of water. Water will always be available at the buses and offered before and after each stop. Make sure to grab a bottle to go for you and your veteran. Often we see veterans refuse water because they think it will cause increased bathroom stops. Not to fear, there are restrooms on the planes, on the buses, and even at every stop. Tip number 2, report any falls or injuries to the medic team. It is the policy of our South Willamette Valley Honor Flight Hub to document all injuries. This includes falls even when you don't see a visible injury. We require our medical team to assess each injury immediately, even if that's the middle of the night. As a guardian, you will be given the phone numbers to the medical team. So let's say your veteran falls on the way to the bathroom at 2 a.m. Have those numbers in a handy place and call it in. We are ready to help you at all hours of the day and in all locations. Tip number 3, sexual harassment of any kind will not be tolerated. This means that sexual innuendos, jokes, comments, inappropriate touching are strictly not allowed. Something to ask yourself, would this veteran treat a male volunteer in the same manner? If the answer is no, call attention to the behavior. Keep in mind, these veterans served at a time when societal norms and language were very different than how things are today. Returning to a mode of talking to their military buddies can cause them to revert to old behaviors. But these are still very inappropriate in today's world. If you hear it start, stop it immediately. If you don't feel comfortable addressing the behavior, ask for help from your team lead or flight lead. If you as a guardian are sexually harassing anyone on the trip, you'll be immediately removed from the group and sent home at your own cost. Tip number 4, don't put up with negative behavior from your veteran. If you have any concerns, please bring them up to your team lead. Don't feel like you have to put up with it so as not to ruin a veteran's experience. Say something so that we can support you. It does us no good when we don't know or hear about behaviors until after the trip is over. Please let our leadership team know about any issues so both you and your veteran can have an amazing trip. Just remember, we're here to help. Additional information specific to your flight will be discussed after dinner on Thursday night before the flight, so please bring your questions. Thank you again for being willing to serve as a guardian for South Willamette Valley Honor Flight. We look forward to meeting you and your veteran and for your help in making this the trip of a lifetime. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at info@swvhonorflight.org.